Welcome to Throw Off the Lines, the podcast where we navigate life's changes, explore new horizons, and embrace the journey. I'm your host, Stephanie York, an executive coach with a passion for charting new courses on the water and in life. Ready for some total change? Let's dive in. Hi there, and welcome to When Anger Erupts. I'm talking about a type of anger. This is one of my short little episodes that is about women and anger that I started a longer episode about. This one is the volcano. And I wanted to dive into this kind of anger that simmers quietly until it erupts in explosive, uncharacteristic bursts. And if this sounds familiar, you're not alone at all. I want to normalize how many women suppress anger because of family or cultural conditioning, or we're told you're not allowed to. Pretty girls aren't angry. Pretty girls don't act like that. And when we're at work, anyways, I could go on and on the reasons why the volcano exists, but I think we all kind of know. We either know because it's happened to us, or we know family members or friends who have just burst out in anger unexpectedly and shockingly, and sometimes they burn everything to the ground. And luckily that hasn't happened to me, but I have a brother who had done that when he was really young. Kind of, they just go red and everything comes out, and some people, they don't have a governor on it, and when it does finally erupt, it doesn't stop, and it's very detrimental to them and the people around them. So let's kind of define it and recognize what this pattern is. Because if you're listening to this, it might be something that's concerning to you. So get a piece of paper out if you want, get your journal, and we want to talk about what can cause somebody to be this kind of type of anger. Anger that's buried way deep down inside is kind of what the volcano is about. They are happy-go-lucky. They don't ever feel angry. Nothing bothers them. You would least suspect that they have any anger in them at all. But it's buried down, and then when it explodes, it's volcanic. Outbursts may feel uncontrollable and surprising even to the person who feels it. When I've talked to people about this afterwards, or people who suffer from this, they're often shocked and humiliated and beat themselves up about it. And I tell them not to. They have to have self-compassion about this and talk to somebody. They should see a therapist about it if it's really bothering them. So things to look out for is feeling fine until one small thing sets you off. And I think right now we're in a very contentious time in our country and the world, and a lot of us are just trying to go along to get along, but we're hearing injustice. We're hearing what's happening. We're feeling quieted. We're feeling like we're not allowed to be angry. We have kids that we have to set examples for. We have bosses we have to answer to. We have clients that we have to be good to. We're overworked. We're pressured. And we're just trying to not cause any problems, not make any waves. And that's the first thing. That's one of the signs to look for. If you're constantly okay in the face of massive adversity, you might be a volcano waiting to explode. And then sometimes when reactions are out of proportion to the trigger, I get this. I catch myself. This is a lesson that I've had to learn. I've had all these different types of anger. And because I've been healing and I'm getting a lot better, when I get into a situation when I'm somewhere where I have no control over my environment, I start to get a little upset. And then my intuition kicks in and tells me, hey, you should be upset about this. But I can't control it. So then I say, nope, I'm fine with it. I'm comfortable with it. And I don't say anything about what's bothering me. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the night, I'm really upset. And maybe I don't even say anything. And then by the time I'm able to say something, I blow up. And because I'm the reasonable one often, when I blow up, it hurts people's feelings, and they don't know how to handle my anger, and it's not fair to them that they're getting all of my anger at once. So I notice when that happens, I have to come in here and start to work on my anger issues and finding my boundaries. So often after an outburst, you have guilt, shame, or regret. And absolutely. And those things, I have a whole episode on regret. I have a whole episode on shame. And if you're finding that when you're angry, you feel shame or regret or guilt, then you might want to look at this volcanic pattern and how to work with it. Because anger is appropriate in certain situations. You shouldn't feel shame and guilt every time you feel angry. And if you are, you might want to look at some of these patterns and ask yourself this question. Do my outbursts feel bigger than the situation? Do I regret what I say after I say it? Do I regret my actions after I've done it? And if the answer to that is yes, as you're journaling, and you can pause and start writing this stuff down, write down the last time you were angry that you can remember that was maybe one of these explosive episodes, and break it apart. What happened before that? What do you think was the reason that happened to you? And what did you do afterwards? Did you just feel really horrible about it and hope it went away? And if that's the case, then let's look at some of the ways we can work with it. So 5 steps to working on a volcanic anger. Number 1, identify your triggers early. Keep kind of an anger log to spot patterns, situations, people, times of day. Maybe have a journal at the end of the day and write down things that made you angry that day. And then what did you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? What could have caused you to get so angry if you blew up that day? What are things that you need to address so that they don't build up? Learn pre-eruption cues. I know we're using this volcanic theme. Notice body signals. Is my chest tightening because I'm angry? Am I breathing faster? For me, absolutely my blood pressure spikes. I start to get a headache, and I feel my face get hot when I'm in situations I can't control. And thank goodness for that. It's these kinds of symptoms happened after I started going through menopause, and they are a trigger warning for my anger. And they do definitely help me from blowing up, because I try to say, okay, what about how I'm feeling is my fault? What can I affect? What is something that I can't do anything about and is not my job to fix? And create a pause practice. So step away. That is my number 1 thing. If I'm in a situation that is causing me to be angry, I step away from it and I'm able to see more clearly what I can do about it. I take deep breaths. I count to 10. I maybe take a walk. I make myself a cup of tea. I eat something. Snacks are always good for me. And all of that helps when I make that pause. And then later on, I can journal and think through what was angering me about that. What would I have done in the past? Would I have said nothing? Would I have avoided it? Also, channel your energy constructively. If you're feeling anger and you can't do very much about it, but it's building up, go exercise, journal, find creative outlets to diffuse intensity. Some people play video games on their phone. Some people do arts and crafts. Whatever it takes for you to kind of just channel it out and diffuse it. And then communicate assertively. Replace your explosive anger with calm but firm expression. You have every right to be angry about certain situations. It is your right to have feelings. Your feelings are valid. You are worth being angry if it's correct. So when you are in an angry situation, don't let it boil and boil and boil. If somebody's picking on you or doing something to you or something is happening around you and you've done the walk away and nothing's helping it, instead of exploding or waiting till you explode, be assertive and say, I feel frustrated when this happens. I feel unheard because you're doing this. I feel hurt because this is happening to me. I said no and I meant no, and I need you to start hearing me when I say that. Those kinds of things and being more assertive before they blow up are really incredibly important. And then just like all the other anger types, we do really want to look at some external help and accountability. Always, if your anger is out of control and you're just not able to work through it, get therapy. Get a psychologist or a psychiatrist. If it's really bad, you shouldn't be listening to the podcast. You should be looking for some help. Talk to your general practitioner. They are trained to help you with these things. If you need a psychologist or a therapist, please look into your insurance and see how you can get one. Coaching. I help a lot of my clients when they're angry with frustrating situations. If it's more than my skills can handle, I refer them to a psychologist or their doctor. but help get anger management strategies and safe outlets to start working through some of this. You'll find if you start chipping away at it, it becomes smaller and smaller, and you'll see triggers, and you'll put up boundaries, and you'll be a happier person. Absolutely. Then there's a lot of anger and stress support groups. Share your experiences with others. Help people that will listen. Do a medical check-in. Rule out any underlying issues. Is it hormonal? Is it thyroid? Do you have sleep problems? Because I know that when I don't have enough sleep, and when I started having zero estrogen, and my thyroid died on me, I was a mess. I was a puddle. And I would be so fatigued and so stretched thin that I would snap. So make sure you're taking care of your health, and you're taking really good care of your diet and your exercise and your sleep patterns. And then find people who you can call, that can help call out your patterns. I've got friends my daughter will check on me. She'll be like, "Hey, you're being angry. Hey, you could be nicer." And see if you can notice your own compassion patterns toward yourself, compassion towards others. Are the things that you're really angry about things that are yours to fix? If they aren't, can you let them go? Can you get yourself out of situations that are causing recurring anger? And find a trust circle. And then always, I tell people, journaling. Journaling is, along with therapy, along with a psychologist, along with medication, is the best tool that you can use to work on yourself, because it's all right there. And you can go back and revisit it. And I know that sometimes it feels hopeless, but I want you to, just like all the other anger types, feel some hope. Again, notice small wins. They do matter. If you journaled today and you processed anger, that's huge. That's huge. Noticing a trigger before the explosion is progress. If you're in a situation and you're really frustrated, you get up and you leave. You did not participate in that anger cycle. Give yourself credit. So you're not broken. Your anger is energy looking for direction, okay? So learning to release it safely turns it from destruction into fuel for change. So keep reframing anger. It can be a compass for unmet needs. So if you're feeling anger, you might need to address what you need in your life. Are you lonely? Are you angry? Are you tired? Are you unwell? Are the people you're around and with, are they feeding good things to you, or are they draining you? Look at your life as a whole. If you're having volcanic anger or any anger at all, it's symptomatic. It's your body telling you that something needs to change. So we also have a couple books down in the notes: The Dance of Anger by Harriet Lerner, Emotional Agility by Susan David. Find some mind-body tools like muscle relaxation, deep breathing, meditation, 100%. Yoga. There's a bunch of mindfulness apps out there. Journaling prompts will be like, what did I need before I exploded? How could I express that sooner next time? Volcanic anger doesn't define you. You're not to blame for having anger. You're allowed to have anger. You're worth being angry. It just means you've been holding too much inside. The more you release in safe ways, the less power the eruption has. So please feel free to get a hold of me. Send me wins. Send me questions. Let's share. I love to hear from my listeners. I've been meeting them as I travel. And I just think that women are allowed to be angry, and we need to tell ourselves that. And anger is a symptom that's showing us that something's off in our lives. It's not to be ignored or squished down, and we're allowed to be angry. It's just what we do with it and how we handle it that makes all the difference. So I hope you found this useful, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you for joining me on Throw Off the Lines. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe for future episodes and extras, and leave a review. Share it with someone who needs a total inspiration. You can also find us on Facebook or Instagram and our Throw Off the Lines website. If you want to be a guest or have questions for the host, sign up on the website and we'll get back to you. Until next time, throw off those lines and live your best life.